Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Jesse back with another one. Hey, guys. Today I wanted to talk to you all about chosen ones in the workplace. Now, guys, I don't know how you guys' experiences have gone and everything with that. If you guys work a 9 to 5 job or whatever, but I wanted to talk to you guys about doesn't it seem like everybody's in competition with you at your work, right? Doesn't it seem that just everybody's always trying to outdo you and trying to make you look bad and stuff? Isn't that awful strange that they do that? Well, I can tell you what, guys, it's crazy. I've had this stuff happen wherever I've worked, and I've worked many places, guys, because as we know, most of the time for a chosen individual, it never works out at the workplace. It just never does because you could have a manager that's just, they're intimidated by your intellect and your intelligence that you have. We carry we're very highly emotionally intelligence, and these people can't stand that. And they can't stand your light that you have and that you shine bright and that you stick out so bad, right? Um, but another thing is you know, you have this crazy amount of energy that you've always possessed within inside you that God has blessed you with, and um, you've always had that. So you've always tend to be the hardest worker, right? You're not scared of work. Um, you always go the extra mile at work, right? Even if they want it, like say someone calls out or 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 um, or say it was your day off and someone called out, you would come in on, you'd be the one that come in on your day off if they were shorthanded just to work. You would be the one that would stay after to help out if they had to work late or something or get something done. Like you always fill in. Like you always go the extra mile everywhere you go or everywhere you work at. And people always think like that you're acting like you're in competition or something with them. And no, you're not. That's just the way that you operate and the way that you move. You know, like these people walk around just kind of, just kind of like zombie like they're really slow. They're really just their awareness is just they lack self-awareness and what's going on around them, and it's like they move really slow. I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed that too, but these people aren't like you. They don't have that kind of energy like you have and are able to just, you know what I mean? You're really fast on your feet. You're quick to act. You're able to think fast, critically think, problem solve. You have all of these abilities and traits that most people don't possess. I mean, I brought up critical thinking the other day, and one of the people at work's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh no." I'm like, "Never mind. Just never mind. I'm not even going to get into it." Like, then you obviously don't understand what that is and don't possess that. It's like common sense. Most people don't have common sense. You know, they say common sense isn't so common. Well, to tell you the truth, guys, it's not. You know, you can be the smartest book person in this world, and you can be totally stupid when it comes to common sense, not having common sense and self awareness, and being able, and having a certain level of intellect within yourself. You know, um, but anyway, guys, like you know how many times I've had bosses that felt threatened that I was there to like take their job. Like that's what they were thinking, like cuz I'd be always working so fast and going so hard, and it's not like I was trying. That was just my pace. That's the pace I'm used to in life. You know? It's called moving with intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a high level of intelligence, and that's a lot of times that's how we move in life. I mean, we always move with purpose. We move like we're on a mission. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand or get that. They just don't have that within them. They're just it's crazy to see how unaware they really are, and they're the ones that are always like the ones trying to get out of all the work. You know what I mean? Like they'll pile extra work onto you. They'll always want you to have to stay late and everyone else go home. Um, they just always seem to just put everything on you. You always end up with the biggest load of work, the most workload wherever you are. It doesn't matter. Like everywhere I've been, it's the same thing. And then it's the same thing with the manager or the boss, that you have. They're always threatened that you're going to take their job. And then after a while, they'll make your work environment so bad that you have to get voluntary get done. You know what I mean? Like I've never you know, I had only been let go from one place at all the jobs I've had, but all the other ones, they've made it so bad that, I've had to voluntarily just get done because the work conditions got so terrible. You know, they're just constantly trying to make your life miserable at work. They just can't stand the light you have, and they can't stand that you're always happy, and that that makes them mad too. And I just think it's funny. Like I had guys at work, I had people come up to me. They're like, "Well, how you doing today?" They're always worried about how you're feeling. They just would love to see you down and out at your job or frustrated and stuff. And they're like, "Well, how was Jesse's day today?" And I'm like, "Oh, it was awesome. It was great." And it's weird because they'll just come up and ask me that, and then just kind of walk away like, mope away. And I'm like, "What the hell? Who like?" It's so strange, how they are. Um, and the thing is, like, you're the one that's always the team player too, everywhere you go. Like, you're not afraid of all that extra work. You're not afraid to do that, everything. But the thing is, it comes to the point where they take advantage of that, and then they'll friggin' pile on so much stuff onto you that it makes it nearly impossible for you to do it, or you can do it, but you're so miserable and tired and burnt out after a while that you have no choice but to leave these places at times. They make it almost impossible for you. It's like the devil's working overtime to make your life miserable, and you're stuck in these 9 to 5 jobs and stuff. Um, and it never stops, guys. Like this has happened everywhere I've worked. And all I've ever done is just treat everybody with respect, mind my business, keep my head down. I'm there to do a job. I'm not there to tee hee hee and frig around and act like a friggin' 16-year-old like most of these people do. They're all clowning around. They've got their little cliques going, right? And you're sitting there with your head down, you're there to do your job and go home. You're there for your paycheck and to do your job. You're not there to make friends, play little patty cake games in the corner with these people and talk about who won the freaking game last night and this and then get into all these little drama stuff, like their own personal drama that they bring into work and everything. You stay right out of that. And then they get mad when you don't want to, you don't want to participate in that stuff. That bugs them too. That even makes them more furious that you don't ever want to participate in any of that, any of this small talk and this mindless little pea brain thinking that they've got pea brains. Small minds discuss that, small minds, discuss people, places, and things. They have nothing, intelligent to say, nothing intelligent that they even talk about, nothing that means anything. It gets on your nerves after a while, doesn't it, guys? It's just, uh, I don't know. I have all I can do sometimes, guys, to just deal with it and just try to keep my head down. But a lot of times, guys, they try to force this stuff on you. Like they want you to try to get you participating in all that drama and bullcrap that they got going. Um, they just. But anyway, they can't stand how you work because they can't keep up with you. They just don't have your energy. They don't have what you have inside of you. They haven't, God hasn't blessed them with that. They don't have the gift of the Holy Spirit in them. Or maybe they wouldn't be walking around like a freaking drone, like a freaking zombie, you know what I mean? Just they're so sluggish and just it's kind of robotic and it's very strange. I don't know, you guys, if you've you know um, if you guys have noticed that, but I sure have. And they've always just really they just try to make your time miserable. If they can make your work life miserable there, I mean, they're happy to do it. You know, they're the more miserable they can make you at work, the happier they are. I mean, it all goes to the whole saying, their your pain is their joy. I mean, you just can't get away from it, guys. It doesn't matter if it was your family and friends. It's your coworkers. It's everybody. They just want to see you slip up. They want to see you. They want to see you down and out, and they want to see. They want nothing but negative things to happen to you. They love to see negative things to you. They just light up. They light up like a Christmas tree. It's crazy. And I was talking to a friend the other day about this, about how she had the same experiences that I did with also like when your birthday comes around. It's funny they go out of their way to celebrate everyone's birthday or to you know recognize someone's birthday on that day. But when it comes to yours, no one says a damn word. Crickets. They don't notice your birthday. They don't have to, they won't go out of their way to say anything. And they damn well know it's your birthday, right? But who cares anyway? I personally don't care. I don't even really care to have my birthday recognized. It's just, it's one of those things that it's not a big deal to me, but it's just another thing in how they act. That's what I have noticed. And that's just, this is just how people are. They're just so jealous and envious of your light. They're jealous of how, you were able to think on your feet fast. Like I said, you can critically think. You're a problem solver. You're good at everything you do. Stuff comes easy to you. You know what I mean? Because you have that higher level of intelligence and self-awareness. And it freaking drives them nuts too. I mean, you may be fine and stuff can go good for a while, and you can help these people out in the biggest way. And if someone wants to go home early, and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll go finish your work for you. Go home to your family and kids. I don't have that, so go ahead, go home. So you will always stay and do all their extra work, and it still doesn't matter. They don't appreciate it one bit. They don't care, and they'll never thank you for it either. And whatever. But it seems like when it comes to like telling people, and they'll never tell you to do a good job. They'll never give you any validation for anything you do. Which who cares? You work hard. You're out working these people 10 to 1. They just don't got it, guys. They don't have what you have, and they can't keep up with you. They're not on your level whatsoever. So, that's one thing that we have going for us that's big, but in the same breath, it just makes everybody uncomfortable, and it makes them feel like they're not doing enough. You make them feel. That's the problem. You disturb their demons in them, and it makes them, you make them feel so less than and so small. But you're not doing it intentionally. This is just who you are and how God has shaped you as a person. you know, and these people just don't get it. They don't understand or get where this come from, where this comes from, and these people have they couldn't even walk a day in your shoes anyway. They couldn't walk a mile in your shoes through with what you've been through and the experiences that you've had. The wisdom you have is just amazing, and they I don't care if you got a boss that's 20, 30 years older than you. You have way more wisdom than they do. You've probably had way more life experience than they have. It doesn't matter that they've been around longer. When it comes to being a chosen one, the life experiences God has put in your life, it's like you've already lived 2 lifetimes. So you're way ahead of everybody. You're way ahead of everybody else on every level. And that's what pisses them off, guys. It really does. And, they just can't stand that about you, and that's why they're just always like to try to make your life as miserable as possible. It's funny, guys. So the other day at work, we just got a bunch of snow there, right? And I had to go out, and I'm out doing I'm out on my route that I do, out on a delivery. So the truck, I got into this driveway and I drove up the driveway, right? And it was fine. The truck was fine. So I dropped off the package I needed to drop off. Then I'm getting ready to leave, right? And then the truck all of a sudden slid sideways because, I didn't realize that there was so much ice under the driveway. I didn't realize that. It was like drove up, it's like a U-shaped driveway, okay? Then it like went down to the road like this, it was a deep embankment. So the truck, I get in, just started to move a little. The truck went right sideways down the bank, right? And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. It wasn't that I was mad because I got stuck and I don't do and you couldn't have known. It was just one of those things that happen, but I don't usually do stupid stuff like that. And I usually don't get in those types of situations. I could have just walked it up the driveway and not even taken the risk and done that. But, my biggest thing was, oh, here we go. And now I'm going to have to call them up and say, yeah, I'm stuck. I need a wrecker. Um, um, and all that stuff. And I'm like, it's going to cost them money, and that makes them, that makes them upset. And that's just what they would love that to be the case for you. That just would make their day. It gives them all something to talk about back at the freaking station, and they could talk about Jesse got stuck, because they're just looking for you to slip up, because it doesn't happen to you much, does it? You don't make mistakes and stuff. You are on your A game all the time. Like, there is not many times that you make a mistake, right? I mean, I know I usually don't. Yeah, we make mistakes in life. I still make mistakes and stuff, but I'm just saying, in general, you usually are not making mistakes like that. Um, so I did have to call the girl in the station that runs it, that is takes care of all that stuff. You have to call her, and then she has to call the wrecker for you. So, but the funny thing is, I had to call her for a wrecker, and you could tell she was all lit up and so happy, like. And I'm like, oh yeah, I knew it. And I knew it was coming. I'm mad at myself, I'm like, geez, I'm crow. Yeah, now they got this on me. It just gives them something to freaking talk about. But you know what, it was funny, guys? And I don't know if God intervened or what, but he wasn't going to let him get that satisfaction, because this is what happened, guys. So some guy pulls up with a brand new Dodge pickup, right? I mean, brand new Dodge pickup, white pickup. Beautiful truck. I mean, the guy must have been, I don't know, in his mid 40s or whatever. Okay. Anyway, he pulls up. He's already got his strap out and everything, right? And I didn't even really think he could get me out of what I was in. I was in deep snow. I mean, this was like 2.5 feet of snow I was stuck in, and I needed to be drugged down the front lawn. So the whole truck was hung up in that snow. You know what I mean? It would have had to plow all that snow behind me to get out. I mean, I was stuck terribly on an embankment, right sideways. So this is awesome, guys. This guy had straps and everything, right, got him right out, backed his truck right up. He friggin' hooks onto my truck, guys, and I mean, he beat the living hell out of that truck. You wouldn't believe how many times he had to back up and snap it. He would nail it, go forward, bang, and I would be right, I was right on the gas, as hard as I could. I'm in a big box truck, and he'd back up again, bang. I mean, just beat the living. I couldn't believe it. Was beating the hell out of this truck. He had just gotten brand spanking new truck he just only had for like 2 weeks, and he was more than happy, guys, to friggin' get me out of that situation. Like, he finally got me out of there, and it was unbelievable. Like, I didn't think he was going to get me out. I thought I needed a big wrecker to get me out of there, and that's what it looked like, and you would have thought. But he got me out. But what was funny, guys? So I called her up real quick, right back, and I'm like, it took like 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, hey Danielle, guess what? You can cancel that. You can cancel that tow truck I got out. I'm good. And you could just the disappointment that she had in her voice when I told her I was good, I got out. And I didn't tell her how I got out, because she didn't know the scenario, but I just said, no, I'm good, I got out. I wasn't even going to let him have that satisfaction. I mean, she was so up, like, I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, and I should have freaking expected that. I shouldn't have been surprised, but, I kind of was. I'm like, really? It's like you wanted me to have to get the toe because it would have gave you guys something to talk about and shit on me about. Because they're always looking, like I said, they're always looking to freaking find something to slip you, something that you do and something that you slip up that they can shit on you about. Like say, haha, Jesse got stock. And that's the way they would act. That's the way they would be too. I mean, these people act like little kids. I mean, it's crazy, man, like how this world is and like how people treat you and they just can't, they can be nice to your face but really deep down they don't like you. They don't like you because you're reflecting a mirror back to them of how much they lack in life. They are not they are not, you have grown and been through so many things in life that they just are not on your level and they know that and it bugs them. It really disturbs their demons. And I just was but man, anyway, that guy, when he got me out, I was freaking just so stoked and laughed. And I go, man, that had to have been God. I mean, I'm like, man, there's still great people in the world. He did not have to do that. I didn't even ask. Like, it was the weirdest thing. He's just driving by and saw me, and then all of a sudden he's backing up and just he's ready to hook on and go. I'm like, man, I freaking gave him the biggest freaking hug, like high five and hug, you know what I mean? I'm just like, freaking right, dude. Like, I wasn't happy that I saved the company money. Screw them. They've got enough money. They're multi-billion-dollar companies. So I'm like, who cares about the toe? It was more about him helping me and them not getting the satisfaction to friggin' shit on me for getting in that situation. But it's just it's wild, guys. The workplace drama and the bull crap that you have to go through. But man, they love to see you in a predicament like that. It's but I'm like, nope, not today. You're not getting there today, boys. Nope, not gonna happen. And it didn't. And I give all the glory to God on that one. And that there still is some good people out there in this world, that are willing to give you a hand like that. Especially taking your brand new truck like that. I'm like, holy cow, brand new $80,000 truck, and you're just beating the living hell pulling this huge truck through that snow. It's like, holy cow. If you could have seen what was going on and how hard he had to work to get that out was just amazing. And that he was willing to do that to his vehicle, I'm just like, man, uh, truly thankful and blessed for that. Didn't have to go through the humiliation, of everybody, taking jabs at me and stuff later on. So that was great. But, anyway, guys, yeah, I don't know what, some of the experiences you guys have had, but I just know they make it's always just they make it so hard for you. It's any chance they get, it's always something, and it's draining. And the thing is, though, they should be happy that you're around, because if you're like the one you're like the freaking the generator. You're like a generator of energy. When you show up to like at work, you make everybody's more energetic, everybody's moving faster. Everyone's are way more energized, and that's all because of you. That's not because they got that energy. They freaking, like I said, they mope around like a bunch of freaking depressed zombies. Um, you're the one that's the generator and has all that energy. They're so lucky to have you around, and then the thing is, though, they don't know how good they had it until you're gone, guys. They don't realize how great. Like, if I swear, wherever you've worked before, people are friggin' I'll tell you, it wouldn't take long. They were sorry and sad to see that you weren't there anymore, because you're not there to have that. They don't have that. They're not able to feed off your great energy that you have. And you're not there to friggin' pick up the workload and to always fill in for them and do all the little extra stuff that no one else wants to do. I promise you they miss that. They miss having you around. And it's a shame that it takes that you having to get done somewhere for them to realize that. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, they should have been grateful when they had you there and everything you were doing, and not made it a competition thing. You weren't there trying to make anyone look bad. You were just trying to make things easier for people. And that's a problem. That's a big problem, because all these people are looking to do the less amount of work as possible. That's like the whole game they play at these workplaces, is who can do the least amount, who can get away with doing the least amount of work. But then they want to sit there and they want to say, "Oh, I work so hard. I work so hard around here and do all this work." And excuse me, guys. And it's not true. You're the one that's stepped up, and you're working that you're working them 10 to 1. I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, they just, if they if they could just shut their mouth and be happy that you're there to help and be a team player, like, no one appreciates that until you're gone. And then, it's funny, you'll see these people like a year later or so, or a year and a half later, and they'll see you like out on the street or at the store, something like, "Oh man, freaking kind of miss having you around, we really do." And not only then will they give you credit, like, "Man, geez, we wish we would have been better to you. It was so much better when you were working there with us. I mean, it was awesome. We all had a much better time when you were around." You know, it's only when you're gone is when people realize your true value. That's the way it's always been with everyone in your life, hasn't it? With all your friends and acquaintances you've had, when they don't have you anymore in their life, guys, their life is just blah. I mean, it, their life isn't all that in a bag of fries. I don't care what they say or how they act or what they want to say and make you think. It's not the truth. Anyone that had you in their life was the biggest blessing, and most people will frig up that blessing, which they do. They obviously all fumble the bag with you and screw up the blessing. You were God's blessing for them in their life, and they always fumble the bag, guys. It never fails. In every type of relationship you have in their life, they just don't know how to handle you, and then they get envious of you and jealous, and they can't stand to be around you anymore. Because you're showing them what they lack in life. Guys, you were the mirror reflecting back to them what they lack, and they just can't deal with it. They can't stand it. But the thing is, guys, they're not willing to do the work and make the sacrifices that you've had to do. I mean, you've had to work on yourself in extreme ways. Like, you've had no choice. God has pushed you, He's shaped you and molded you and put you in situations that made you have to better yourself, and it's made you into the person that you are, and these people aren't willing to put in the work that you are, not even close to putting in the work that you do, the shadow work, doing the stuff when no one's around and bettering yourself every day. They don't want to do the work. They want to have all the adulation and feel like like they're on your level, but they're not. They're delusional in that sense. But I'll tell you what, when they go home at night and go to bed, they know exactly who they are deep down, and then they know who you are, and they know how much they lack compared to you. And this is not about being better than anyone else, guys. This is talking about, it isn't that we're better than anyone else, but the things and experiences that God has put us through in life and what we've had to deal with and the hardships, they don't have a clue what that's like. So they've been comfortable most of their life. They haven't had these huge ordeals happen where they've had to, go through and learn and grow from them. They've had it very comfortable, while you have had many, many uncomfortable situations happen, which has made you grow as a person and has made you who you are today. They haven't had that shaping. God hasn't been able to use them and shape them like that, because they're too concerned with living in this world, and they're not willing to do that work that it takes to be on the level that you're on. People want to act like they are, but they're not. And it's bullshit. They do this all the time. It's like, you are not on my level. And I'm not trying to be better than anyone else, guys. Like, I don't have an ego in that way, but they're the ones with the ego. They're the ones that have the ego problem. They haven't had their ego death. They haven't went through that. Haven't went through the humiliation rituals like you have. you know. But yet they think and they just talk. It's all talk, guys. It's all talk. There's no action with these people. They can think, they can be delusional and think and act like they're on that level, but they're not. And this is what I found they do at the workplace all the time, you know. And I'm telling you, it, it's funny. A lot of these places, when you get done working there, believe it or not, guys, I've seen companies go downhill big time since you left. I mean, if you really go back and take a look and see how they're doing now, it's funny how a lot of times, guys, these companies will, when you've finally gotten out of there, how their numbers and stuff and their work productivity, how it's declined terribly since you've gone. And then they finally realized that you were the one the whole time that was freaking, you were the leader there. Even though you didn't have the title, it didn't matter. You were the one with all the energy and the work ethic. You were the one that was producing and doing, and making stuff happen. While all these people were just moping around, just kind of, you know what I mean, but pretending and acting like they worked real hard and that they were big of that. But they find out when you're gone, guys. So, that's just one thing. That's just one thing, guys, I had on my mind and I wanted to talk about with you in this video was it really is. You really are just, there's no one like you. No one's got your work ethic. It's very rare to have, with people to be able to move like you do. They just can't. You're just next level, guys. And this is not, touting or bragging. It's just the truth. You know, it's just the truth of what it is. So, guys, so that's one thing that you should be, look at and just, you can be proud of yourself, you know, and that's another reason why a lot of people respect you, because they know you are a very hard worker. You're a no nonsense person. You get stuff done. You don't frig around. You're not in the corner teeing like a little freaking schoolgirl. You're out there, you're getting it done every day and with your head down and no bullshit, And there's a lot to be said for that, guys. Any workplace they would be lucky to have you. They really would. And it's not until you leave and are gone for a little bit that they finally realize that about you. And it's too bad it has to be that way. I know. I've been through it many times, guys, and I've had them come up to me and say, "Man, it was so much better when you're here." And yeah, of course it was, because you were picking up the slack for everyone and helping make it easier, making their life a lot easier at work, you know. But it's too bad these people can't see that, and they have to turn it into a whole competition thing, when you're not even in competition with anyone. You've only been in competition with yourself this whole time. It's not even about that with you. So, well, anyway, guys, that was just something I was thinking about today. I wanted to get that off my chest. So, guys, if you could just please like, share, and subscribe, that would help me get these videos out. I know I've just got going. I got a lot more to come. So stay tuned, brothers and sisters, and God bless you all. Have a good night.